Save the Last Bullet by Heidi Langbein Allen. Specimen Chapter. Chapter 13. Military Training. In early September 1944, 3 Waffen-SS Panzer Troop commanders came to our school looking for soldiers. "Boys, a great privilege is being bestowed on you today by the Führer." They stood in front of the class, impressive in their double-breasted black uniforms with the SS runes on their high collars, black breeches and slick black leather boots, the German eagle and swastika prominent on their officers' hats. Today, we're going to select a few of you to receive valuable military training so that you can defend our fatherland against the Bolshevik threat, the enemies of the Reich who want to destroy us. It was a great honour to be chosen to defend our country, and it made us proud. My mind replayed the newsreels that reported on the evil Allied forces that wanted to finish us, first by bombing all our cities to kill all civilians, then by torturing and starving the survivors, and the heroic efforts our soldiers were making to protect our mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters. The German troops were pushing the enemy back, and we were going to prevail. Our teachers and our school books told us that we were Germany's hope and its future, that we were superior and we would win. The Führer had issued the Volkssturm Home Guard decree, drafting all men between the ages of 16 and 60 because he was running out of soldiers. The Nazis started by conscripting the old men who are no longer fit for war and those with minor disabilities who'd previously been rejected for duty. Anybody who could hold a gun was sent off to the front to fight the total war, with the aim to engage every resource of Germany into the war effort being above any other priority. We were next. Children were being drafted to fill the void left by the fallen, the losses at the front having become too heavy. This was a pattern repeating itself from the First World War. In 1917, schools had been put into the service of the war effort, leading to the creation of the Schule-Wehr-Kompanien, student military battalions. Children from our very school had been given military training, deployed to the factories to manufacture ammunition, and sent to the fields to help with the harvest. We were the unwitting participants in a repeat performance. We had been sent to Constance to stay with host families to protect us from the heavy Allied bombing in our hometowns. But here was Hitler's elite paramilitary corps calling us to action. 2 of the officers walked down the middle aisle between our desks in silence, scrutinising us carefully, while the 3rd one stayed at the front. The only sounds in the room were their heavy footsteps as they paced slowly up and down. Eventually they made their choice. They went to stand in front again and pointed. "You, you, and you. Come and stand with us." They picked out 3 of us because we were obviously the biggest and strongest. It didn't seem to matter to them that we were only 14 years old. When I saw the finger pointing in my direction, my mind went back to the day I travelled as a stowaway on the train to spend Christmas with my parents. I remembered the peasant women whose sons were at the front fighting for us. I had wished then that I could be brave like them. Here was my chance. It was scary, but it also sounded like an exciting adventure. The 3 of us would defend our country and make the Führer proud. We would march into battle and defeat the enemy or die. We were going to wear smart uniforms, ride mighty tanks and carry powerful weapons that would strike fear into the hearts of the enemy. I stood up and looked at the other 2 kids. We couldn't show any apprehension or nervousness, lest we looked like cowards, so we puffed out our chests, acting big, and walked to the front. The other boys looked at us with wonder, some of them jealous that they hadn't been selected. "What makes him so special?" I heard one kid say later in the hallway. "Don't know, but I do know you didn't get picked, you loser," I sniggered as I passed, feeling smug. We were sent to a Wehrertüchtigungslager, a military training camp, in Traunstein, a town south of Munich near the majestic Chiemsee Lake. It was a 2-month programme intended to teach us how to handle several different weapons. After the training, we were to return to school and resume our normal activities, but would be called if the Führer needed us. Among the weapons we were taught to use was the Walter P38 pistol and the Sturmgewehr machine gun. We were told that this was the first machine gun in the world that was accurate at 1,000 metres, a superior piece of equipment. The last thing they taught us to fire was the Panzerfaust, the anti-tank rocket launcher, a weapon designed to blow up enemy tanks. They explained to us that German weapons were more advanced than, and far superior to, the armament of our enemies, especially the Bolsheviks, who sometimes still used primitive horse-drawn carriages. We were told that not only was our weaponry superior, but also our intellect. The course lasted from early September to the end of October 1944. We were quickly disabused of the notion that this was in any way a glamorous assignment, as we'd somehow imagined when we were picked out for the privilege. The barracks where we stayed were large 2-storey buildings with mess halls and offices on the ground floor and dormitories upstairs. We got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, were given little to eat then and not much more for the rest of the day. There were non-stop drills from dawn until sunset. At night, utterly exhausted and with grumbling stomachs, we crawled up the stairs by the skin of our teeth to the dorms, and the whole thing started again at 6 in the morning the next day. We did get to watch a lot of newsreels. On the movie screen, the German eagle would spread its wings to the sound of fanfares, and we listened to the triumphant updates of how German troops had won back territory from the enemy. The German soldier was invincible, and our instructors told us we were to become national heroes. We looked at each other with a sense of pride, knowing we were going to do something important. After all, what could be more important than defending your country? Only much later would I find out that at that point Germany was in retreat on every front, sustaining heavy casualties in a war that had already been lost. That's the end of the chapter. If you do buy the book and you enjoy it, please leave an Amazon review if you can. Many thanks.